My cheating wife and her lawyer lover forged my signature to steal our apartment, until I exposed them in court and shattered their perfect plan. When I unleashed a torrent of evidence in court, their smug conspiracy crumbled, and I turned their deceit into their downfall. Stay with me for a gripping, gut-wrenching saga of betrayal, cunning, and a comeback that will leave you speechless. I'm a 36-year-old male. I've been working construction since I was fresh out of high school. I started as a basic laborer, busting my ass, carrying materials, and learning the trade. Now I'm a site supervisor, running crews of over 25 guys and managing multi-million-dollar projects. It's not exactly Silicon Valley money, but I make enough to live comfortably and still have plenty left for my gym membership and my restored 1975 Corvette. I met my ex, Lauren, at this dive bar when I was 27. I was there with my crew after finishing a big project, still in my work boots and covered in construction dust. She was there with her fancy real estate friends slumming it for fun. Maybe it was the way I didn't try to impress her like every other guy in the place. I was just myself. A straightforward dude who could deadlift 660 and knew how to frame a house. For whatever reason, she dug it. "You're different," she purred that night, her eyes locking onto mine. We dated for 3 years before getting married. Her daddy, this big-shot real estate developer, insisted on a prenup. I didn't care. I wasn't marrying her for money anyway. I signed it without even reading it carefully. Spoiler alert, this comes back to bite her in the ass later. About 2 years ago, we bought this sweet apartment in the nice part of Midtown. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, a corner unit with a view of the skyline. Most of the down payment came from my grandpa's inheritance. The old man was a wise dude. Always told me, "Daniel, keep some money hidden away from the wife. You never know when you'll need it." Life was pretty good for a while. I was killing it at work, got promoted to supervisor, and started making real money. Lauren's real estate business was booming. She specialized in those fancy penthouse condos, making fat commissions. We had our routines. I'd hit the gym at 6 or o'clock in the morning before work. She'd do her kickboxing or Pilates or whatever. We'd sometimes meet for lunch when I wasn't at a job site. Normal married life stuff. She'd complain about my gym schedule. I'd get annoyed when she'd spend 5 hours getting ready to go out. Sometimes she'd complain that I was too focused on work or that I didn't understand her artistic side. But nothing major, nothing that made me think she was planning what came next. The first red flag popped up about 8 months ago. Lauren suddenly got super into these executive women's summits. Every other weekend, she'd dress up in these fancy business outfits and head off to strategize with elite professionals. She started talking about redefining her destiny and maximizing her influence. Then she got weirdly interested in our apartment paperwork. "I'm really interested." She started asking about the deed, the mortgage, all that boring legal stuff. I didn't think much of it at the time. She was a realtor after all. Property documents were her thing. Plus, I was busy with this huge commercial project we just landed. 14-hour days managing multiple crews, dealing with city inspectors. I didn't have the energy to wonder why my wife suddenly cared so much about our refinancing options. The really weird stuff started one night after I got back from the gym. I was still in my workout clothes, feeling pretty good after hitting a new personal record on bench press. Lauren was waiting on the couch, laptop open, looking all professional in her work clothes. "Darling," she said, all sweet and innocent, "I've been looking at our mortgage rates. I think we should refinance. My credit score is better than yours," she continued, showing me some numbers on her laptop. "If we put it under just my name, we could save like $400, 0 cents a month." I remember sitting there, still sweaty from my workout, something feeling off in my gut. When I asked about my name being on the deed, she waved it off like it was nothing. "Oh, we can add you back later. It's just a technical thing for the bank. You trust me, right?" "You're hiding something," I thought, my instincts screaming. That's when I knew something was seriously wrong. But I didn't let on. 9 years of working construction teaches you how to keep a poker face. I just nodded, said we'd look into it, and went to take a shower. But my mind was already racing, pieces starting to come together. The summits, the late nights at open houses, the weird phone calls she'd take in another room. This is where it starts getting really weird. Those executive women's summits. Well, I started doing some digging. I called up my buddy Ryan from the construction site. His sister is big into that scene. Turns out these weren't your typical power networking workshops. They were these exclusive wealth protection meetings run by this shady life coach named Victoria. Her big thing, teaching women how to secure their financial empire during divorce. But I didn't know any of this yet. I was still playing dumb, going about my routine like nothing was wrong. Wake up at 5:30 in the morning, hit the gym, work my ass off at the construction site, come home to my increasingly distant wife. Lauren was getting bolder, though. She started coming home later and later from her open houses, always had some excuse ready. Oh, the clients wanted to see the house at twilight, or the paperwork took longer than expected, or had to connect with some new clients. One night she came home smelling like expensive cologne, not the kind I wear. I'm more of a basic cologne guy. This was that fancy stuff that costs more than my weekly grocery budget. When I mentioned it, she got all defensive. It's probably from the house I was showing. The owners have one of those fancy automatic sprayer things. You're lying, I thought, my suspicion growing. The real kicker came about a month after that refinancing conversation. I'm at this new job site midtown overseeing the foundation work on this luxury hotel building. Ryan, my concrete guy, comes up to me looking uncomfortable as hell. "Hey Daniel, you might want to see this." He pulls out his phone, shows me a picture his girlfriend took at this fancy restaurant called Lux Bistro. There's Lauren, all dressed up in a tight emerald dress I definitely didn't buy her, sitting real cozy with this guy in a $3,000 0-cent suit. They weren't exactly looking at property listings, if you catch my drift. Turns out Mr. Fancy Suit was Derek Vaughn, one of the top divorce lawyers in the city. Real piece of work. The kind of guy who advertises on digital billboards with slogans like, "Take what's yours." Later found out he charges like $700 0 cents an hour. I didn't confront Lauren right away. Remember, I'm playing the long game here. Instead, I started watching more carefully. Noticed she'd changed all her phone passwords, started doing her laundry separately, probably hiding that fancy cologne smell. She even started going to the gym herself, but not my gym. Oh no. She joined some expensive fitness club midtown right next to Derek's office. The apartment refinancing stuff was getting more intense too. She'd leave paperwork accidentally visible on the kitchen counter, mortgage rates, deed transfers, all that boring legal stuff. One day I came home early from work because of a storm delay and caught her on the phone. "Yes, I understand. No, he doesn't suspect anything. The transfer should be clean. I have all his information. Yes, I can handle the signature." She hung up real quick when she saw me, tried to play it off like she was talking to a client, but I'd heard enough. "You're plotting against me," I thought, my heart racing. I called up my buddy Mark, the lawyer you'll meet in the next part, right after that. The next few weeks were like living in some kind of twisted reality show. Lauren was acting sweet as pie to my face while I knew she was planning to screw me over. She'd cook my favorite meals, ask about my day, even started showing interest in my gym routine. Then came the day she dropped the refinancing bomb. I'm sitting there watching the game and she comes bouncing in all excited. "Darling, remember that refinancing stuff? It's all done. You don't have to worry about anything." I look up from the TV playing dumb. "Oh yeah? Did I need to sign something?" She hesitated for just a second. I would have missed it if I wasn't looking for it. The next day she started talking about selling the apartment. "The market's really hot right now," she said. "We could make a killing." Notice how it went from refinancing to selling real quick. Almost like she had a plan or something. I kept playing along, but I was already 10 steps ahead. Had Mark looking into everything, the forged signatures, the financing documents, the prenup violations, even hired a private investigator to follow her and Derek around. Worth every penny, let me tell you. The whole time Lauren's getting cockier, staying out later, barely bothering with excuses anymore. She even started leaving some of Derek's fancy law firm documents, accidentally mixed in with her real estate paperwork. Real estate paperwork that, by the way, showed she was already looking at luxury villas, single occupancy ones. But here's the thing about being a construction supervisor. You learn to spot when a foundation's weak. And Lauren? She built her little plan on the shakiest foundation possible. She just didn't know it yet. Now let me tell you about Mark, the guy who turned out to be my secret weapon. See, Mark isn't your typical lawyer. The dude looks more like a bouncer than an attorney. Ex-military, built like a tank, and has this crazy scar above his right eye from his MMA amateur days. Met him at my gym. Turns out he specialized in divorce law and got fraud cases. When I first showed Mark what I had, the refinancing papers, the sketchy phone calls, Ryan's photo of Lauren and Derek, he just sat there for a minute, cracking his knuckles with this weird smile on his face. "Daniel," he said, "your wife isn't just planning to divorce you, she's trying to pull off a classic property fraud scheme. And her boyfriend? He's done this before. Turns out Derek Vaughn had a bit of a reputation." Mark pulled up some sealed records, showing 5 other cases where wives mysteriously got their houses transferred to their names right before filing for divorce. All of them were Derek's clients. All of them used the same method: forged signatures, rush transfers, quick sales. But here's the kicker. None of those houses had prenups like ours did. Mark's first move? He hired this badass private investigator named Elise, an ex-cop who takes no nonsense from anyone. She started following Lauren and Derek, building a paper trail. Within a month, she had enough dirt to bury them both. Photos of them meeting at his private gym. Yeah, that's where Lauren was really working out. Audio recordings from their lunch meetings where they discussed the property transfer. Copies of emails they thought were deleted. Security camera footage from Derek's office building showing Lauren visiting at weird hours. Bank records showing Lauren had opened a secret account and was moving money into it. But the real gold? Elise caught them on video at some fancy hotel, planning out the whole scheme. Full audio, HD video, everything. There's Lauren in her fancy realtor outfit sitting with Derek going over documents, talking about how they'd sell the apartment quick and split before I knew what hit me. The best part, they were so cocky about it. Here's an actual quote from Derek. "Once it's in your name, he can't do anything. These construction guys never read the fine print. Joke's on you, Derek. I might work with my hands, but I'm not stupid. While all this was going down, I had to keep playing dumb at home." Lauren's getting bolder by the day. Working late 4 or 5 times a week, coming home with shopping bags from stores I know we can't afford. She even bought herself a new Audi. Told me it was a company car. Yeah, right. One morning I'm at the job site when I got this call from my bank. Some lady from the fraud department wanted to verify a transfer authorization. Apparently Lauren had tried to move our entire savings account to a new account in just her name. Thank God I'd already moved most of it to a separate account Mark had me set up. But here's where Lauren messed up real bad. Remember that prenup her daddy insisted on? Mark found this beautiful little clause. In the event that either party attempts to transfer, hide, or otherwise deceive about marital assets, they forfeit all claims to shared property and any potential alimony. Mark was building this massive case file, a 5-inch thick binder full of evidence. But we kept sitting on it, waiting. Why? Because Lauren and Derek were getting sloppy. The more confident they got, the more mistakes they made. They started meeting openly at this fancy rooftop bar midtown. One of my crew guys even spotted them making out in Derek's Lexus in the parking lot. Elise got photos of everything. Lauren went into his house. Then shopping for furniture together for that villa they were planning to move into. Even caught them looking at luxury handbags one day. Guess Derek was planning to upgrade wives. Then one day I'm at the gym doing bench presses when my phone buzzes. Text from Elise, they're meeting with a document forger, getting it all on video. Sure enough, Lauren and Derek had hired some sketchy dude to forge my signature on the property transfer document. Cost them 20 grand in cash. Elise got the whole thing on video, including the part where Derek explains exactly how they're going to file the paperwork. The next day, Lauren comes home all excited. "Darling, remember that refinancing stuff? It's all done. The apartment's secure now." I just nodded, said, "That's great," and went back to my protein shake. Luke called me that night. "Daniel, we got everything we need, and brother, it's beautiful." It was a Friday morning when everything hit the fan. I remember because I was at the construction site early dealing with some supply chain issues. 5 trucks of incorrect concrete mix were delivered. Subcontractors arguing about timeline changes. That's when Lauren sends me this text. "We need to talk when you get home, it's important." I knew what was coming. Mark had already warned me his PI spotted Lauren picking up paperwork from Derek's office the day before. Still, knowing it's coming and actually seeing it happen are two different things. I get home that evening and Lauren's got her serious business face on, hair done perfect, wearing this tight crimson dress I'd never seen before, probably bought it with Derek. She's sitting at our kitchen table with this manila envelope in front of her. "Daniel," she says, all quiet and serious, like she's about to tell me someone died, "I think we need to make some changes." I just stood there, still in my work boots and high-vis vest covered in construction dust, didn't say a word. Let her dig her own grave. "I've been doing a lot of thinking," she continues, "and I just don't think this marriage is working anymore. We've grown apart. You're so focused on your construction work, and I'm really expanding in my career." "You're beneath me now," she said, her voice dripping with disdain. "The nerve of this woman. 9 years together and she's acting like my blue-collar job is beneath her now? While she's planning to steal my apartment and run off with a scumbag lawyer who's already married. I think we need to separate," she says, sliding the envelope across the table. "I've already drawn up the paperwork. It's very fair. I get the apartment since it's in my name now, and you can keep your truck and your gym equipment. She steals our apartment through fraud and thinks letting me keep my Dodge Ram and some dumbbells makes it fair, but here's where it gets good. She starts laying out her whole plan, thinking she's got me cornered. I've already listed the apartment. There's a lot of interest. We could close within a month. Once it sells, I'll give you 20% of the proceeds." That's more than fair, considering I cut her off. Considering what? She actually flinches the first time I'd interrupted her little script. "Well, considering the apartment's in my name legally, I don't have to give you anything." "You're nothing without me," she snapped, her eyes cold. I just told her, "Okay, we will meet in court," and left to sleep at my friend's house. The court date was set for a Wednesday morning. I show up in my best suit, fresh haircut, looking clean despite having been at the job site since 6 o'clock in the morning doing inspections. My boy Mark's there early, 5 massive binders of evidence stacked on our table, looking like he's about to enjoy Christmas morning. Then Lauren walks in, and holy hell, she's wearing this all-white designer pantsuit that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage payment. Hair and makeup perfect, designer heels, the works. She's got this smug little smile on her face, probably thinking she's about to clean me out. Derek sitting next to her in a suit that screams, "I bill $700, 0 cents an hour," looking like a shark that smells blood in the water. The judge is this older lady, probably in her 70s, with these reading glasses that make her look like a stern librarian. She starts going through the preliminary stuff, and Derek stands up all confident and smooth. "Your Honor, this is a simple case. The apartment in question is solely in my client's name. My last name has no legal claim to the property. We're willing to be generous and offer him his personal belongings and vehicle, but the apartment and its equity clearly belong to Mrs. Last Name." I glance over at Lauren. She's got this little smirk, probably already planning how she's going to spend the money from selling my apartment. That's when Mark stands up, and I swear I see him wink at me. "Your Honor," he says, all casual, like we're just having a beer at the gym. "Before we proceed, I have some evidence I'd like to present regarding the property transfer in question." Derek waves his hand dismissively. "The property transfer is complete and legal. All paperwork was properly filed." Mark's smile gets bigger. "Oh, I'm very interested in that paperwork, particularly in how it was filed. Your Honor, may I approach?" The judge nods, and Mark starts laying out photos on her bench. With each photo, I watch Lauren's face get paler and paler. These photos. "Your Honor," Mark says, "show Mrs. Last Name and her associate, Mr. Vaughn, meeting with a known document forger on April 10th. We have video evidence of the entire transaction, including the exchange of $20,000, 0 cents in cash for forged signatures." Derek jumps up. "Objection! These photos could be anything." The judge peers over her glasses. "Mr. Vaughn, sit down. I'd like to hear this." Mark's just getting started. He pulls out a USB drive. "Your Honor, we have audio recordings of Mrs. Last Name and Mr. Vaughn planning this entire scheme. Would you like to hear Mrs. Last Name explicitly discussing how to forge her husband's signature?" Or perhaps Mr. Vaughn advising her on how to hide assets before filing for divorce. Lauren's starting to shake, like visibly trembling in her fancy white suit. Derek's tugging at his collar like it's suddenly too tight. But wait. It gets better. Mark pulls out another file. Additionally, Your Honor, we have evidence that Mr. Vaughn has engaged in this exact scheme before. 5 previous cases, all following the same path. Wives mysteriously getting property transferred to their names through forged signatures right before filing for divorce, all with Mr. Vaughn as their attorney. The judge takes off her glasses and, holy hell, if looks could kill, Derek would be 6 feet under. Mr. Vaughn, she says, voice cold as ice, are you aware that facilitating fraud is grounds for disbarment? Derek starts stuttering something about unfounded allegations, but the judge cuts him off and misses. Last name, are you aware that forging signatures on property documents is a federal offense? Lauren stands up, probably thinking she can charm her way out like she always does. Your Honor, there's been a misunderstanding. Mark interrupts. Oh, we're just getting to the good part, Your Honor. I'd like to direct your attention to Exhibit C, the prenuptial agreement. Lauren freezes. Derek looks confused. Guess he never actually read that prenup. Section 7, paragraph 3, Mark reads, clearly states that any attempt to fraudulently transfer or hide marital assets results in immediate forfeiture of all claims to shared property and requires the offending party to pay all legal fees. The judge is reading along, nodding. I see. And this prenup was properly executed? Yes, Your Honor, Mark says. That's when Lauren loses it. Just completely lost it. She starts screaming about how I set her up, how this isn't fair, how she deserves the apartment. Derek's trying to shut her up, but she's on a roll. He tricked me, she shrieks, mascara starting to run. He knew I was seeing Derek. He had us follow. You'll pay for this, she screamed, her voice cracking. The judge bangs her gavel. Last name. Control yourself, or you will be held in contempt. But Lauren's not done. She spins around, pointing at me. You bastard. You planned this. You and your brute lawyer. Mark just stands there, grinning. Your Honor, I'd like to note for the record that Mrs. Last Name just admitted to the affair in open court, which according to Section 4 of the prenup is another violation. The judge has had enough. Order. Mr. Vaughn, given the evidence presented and your apparent involvement in this fraud scheme, I'm referring this matter to the Bar Association. Mrs. Last Name. This court finds your actions not only reprehensible, but criminal. The property transfer is hereby nullified. Lauren collapses into her chair, crying for real. Derek's already packing up his briefcase, probably racing to call his own lawyer. But the judge isn't finished. Lauren just had her meltdown in court. Derek's looking like he's about to puke in his $2,000 0-cent loafers, and the judge is about to drop the hammer on both of them. She takes off her glasses, looks straight at Lauren. Mrs. Last Name, this court rarely sees such a blatant attempt at fraud. The evidence presented here today shows not just deception, but a calculated scheme to defraud both your husband and this court. Lauren tries to pull herself together, fixing her mascara with shaking hands. Derek's already got one foot out the door, but the judge isn't having it. Mr. Vaughn, sit down. We're not finished. Then she starts listing off everything they're going to face. 1. The apartment transfer is completely void, like it never happened. 2. Lauren violated the prenup in 3 different ways: fraud, adultery, and hiding assets. 3. She's responsible for all legal fees. 4. The judge is referring the whole case to the DA's office for criminal charges. But here's where it gets even better. Remember how I mentioned Derek's wife in the earlier posts? Well, guess who walks into the courtroom right at this moment? This absolutely stunning woman in a scarlet dress, looking like she's about to commit murder. It's Mrs. Vaughn, Derek's wife. Turns out Mark made sure she knew exactly when our hearing was scheduled. Derek goes white as a sheet. Lauren's just sitting there, mascara running down her face, watching her perfect little plan implode. Mrs. Vaughn, let's call her Isabel, walks right up to Derek, drops a manila envelope on his table, and says loud enough for everyone to hear, "You've been served, honey." "You're finished," she hissed, her eyes blazing. The judge just sits back and watches. Derek opens the envelope with trembling hands, and I swear to God, he actually whimpers. Isabel's not done, though. She turns to Lauren. By the way, that Gucci bracelet he gave you, it was bought with our joint credit card. I want it back. Lauren starts fumbling with the bracelet on her wrist, the one I'd noticed a few days ago but hadn't said anything about, and throws it at Isabel like it's burning her skin. That's when Derek finally finds his voice. Isabel, baby, this isn't what it looks like. Isabel cuts him off. Save it for your disciplinary hearing, Derek. The Bar Association is very interested in how many times you've pulled this property transfer scam. Turns out Isabel's lawyer found 9 other cases where Derek had helped wives fraudulently transfer property before divorce. 9. My boy Mark had only found 5. The judge clears her throat. Given these new developments, I'm adding a few items to my ruling. Lauren's practically catatonic at this point, but Derek's looking like he's about to make a run for it. First, Mr. My last name is awarded full ownership of the apartment. Mrs. Last Name forfeits all claims to any marital property due to her multiple violations of the prenuptial agreement. Lauren starts sobbing again, but the judge isn't finished. Second, Mrs. Last Name will be responsible for all legal fees and court costs. Third, I'm issuing an injunction preventing her from selling or transferring any assets until the criminal investigation is complete. Then she turns to Derek. Mr. Vaughn, I'm reporting you to the Bar Association today. Given the pattern of behavior evidenced here, I expect your law license will be suspended pending investigation. Derek slumps in his chair. His whole life's imploding in real time. 10 years of running this scam, and it all comes crashing down because he picked the wrong guy's wife to screw over. Lauren makes one last, desperate attempt. Turns to me with those puppy dog eyes she used to use when she wanted something expensive. Daniel, please, we can work this out. I'll move back in. We can go to counseling. I loved you, she whimpered, her voice breaking. I just laugh. Sorry, Lauren. I don't date criminals. That's when she completely loses it, like a full psycho meltdown. She starts screaming about how I ruined her life, how she gave me the best years of her life, how she could have married a tech mogul or financier. The judge bangs her gavel. Officers, please remove Mrs. Last Name from my courtroom. 2 court officers have to practically drag her out. She's still screaming as they lead her away. You can't do this to me. I deserve that apartment. Derek doesn't even look at her as she's being dragged out. He's too busy watching his wife Isabel talk to the Bar Association representative who just showed up. As they're leading Lauren out, I hear one of the court officers mutter, "These gold diggers are getting worse every year. It's been 10 months since that beautiful day in court." First up, Derek Vaughn, the scumbag lawyer himself. Remember how the judge referred him to the Bar Association? Well, turns out this wasn't his first rodeo with them. 5 other complaints had already been filed, but the cases got settled quietly. Not this time. The Bar Association's investigation found 18 cases where Derek had helped wives fraudulently transfer property before divorce. 18. My boy Mark had found 5. Isabel's lawyer found 9. But this dude had been running the scam for over a decade. Last month they officially revoked his law license. Permanent disbarment. He can't ever practice law again in this state. But wait, it gets better. Remember Isabel, his wife? She didn't just divorce him, she destroyed him. Turns out Derek had been hiding money in offshore accounts for years. Isabel's lawyer found everything. She got their estate in the suburbs, his Tesla collection, all their joint accounts, even his precious country club membership. But the real cherry on top, the DA's office is pressing criminal charges against him for his role in all those fraud cases. My case was apparently the straw that broke the camel's back. He's looking at potential jail time. Last I heard, he's living in a studio apartment and working as a contract paralegal at some tiny law firm. Now for Lauren. Oh boy, where do I even start? Remember how she violated the prenup in 3 different ways? That meant she got nothing. 0 zip. Nada. But that was just the beginning of her problems. The DA's office didn't take kindly to her little forgery scheme. They charged her with fraud, multiple counts, forgery, attempted theft, and filing false documents. She tried to play the victim card in court. Cried about how Derek manipulated her, how she was emotionally vulnerable, how she'd made a mistake. The judge, a different one this time, wasn't buying it. She got 30 months probation, $100,000, 0 cents in fines, 700 hours of community service, and a felony record that'll follow her forever. Her real estate license is gone. Turns out having a fraud conviction isn't great for a career in real estate. Her fancy real estate agency fired her the day after the conviction, but karma wasn't done with her yet. Remember her dad, the one who insisted on the prenup? He was a big shot in the real estate world, always helping her get those premium listings. When he found out what she did, he cut her off completely. Apparently, he was disgusted by her behavior. 2 weeks ago, I'm at the gym, still making those gains, bros. Hit 450 on the bench last week. And guess who walks in? Lauren's younger sister, Samantha. She tells me Lauren's living with their mom now, working as a receptionist at a hair salon. The designer clothes and Audi are long gone. The best part, she tried to beg her dad to help her pay the fraud fines. His response? You made your bed. Now lie in it. As for me, life's pretty sweet. The apartment's value has gone up 35% since all this went down. I did some renovations, painted over all traces of Lauren. Mark helped me refinance it legitimately. Got an even better rate than what Lauren was trying to get. Work's going great too. Got promoted to senior site supervisor, running multiple projects now. The crew loves hearing updates about Lauren and Derek's downfall. It's become a legend on our construction sites. But the real win? 2 months ago, I'm at this new gym. Had to switch after getting too many DMs from guys at the old one wanting to hear the story. And I met this girl named Nora. She's a fitness coach, loves lifting, bench presses more than most guys, and actually thinks construction work is hot. Been dating for a month now. She's everything Lauren wasn't. Honest, straightforward, and appreciates what I do for a living. And get this, she actually reads the documents she signs. The other day we drove past Lauren's mom's place. Saw Lauren struggling with grocery bags, wearing sweats and looking rough. Nora didn't know who she was, but I did. Feels good, man, real good. Moral of the story? Don't try to screw over your spouse. Karma's real. Prenups are important, and always have a good lawyer in your corner. Oh, and lift heavy. Never know when you'll need those gains. I reclaimed my life, but the sting of Lauren's betrayal lingers, a quiet scar that fuels my strength, tempered by the trust I'm rebuilding with Nora.